Hi, got something a bit different here today. This was brought in by a guy who sings in the local bars. Got a musician. Well, he more shouts than sings, to be honest. But he's very popular with his shouting. Yeah. So this is like a voice effect thing. I think it's got a connection for a pedal. Yeah. Left and right audio out, microphone. Voiceplay live, TC Helicon. Looping mode, tap delay mode, set mic gain. It's some sort of harmony effects for singers. It says, yeah, some sort of vocal effects. So anyway, brought me this in. Says, Rich, can you fix this? How do I test it? You know, what's wrong with it? And he says, well, basically, he says, this is like a select here, yeah. He says they should, like, select things, and it doesn't select anything. Yeah, I can't change anything with it, and he says I'm supposed to be able to change things with this. These arrows don't do anything either. So I'm guessing this is a rotary encoder probably in here, because it just spins round and round. It's not like a variable resistor. Probably a rotary encoder, and I'm guessing it's probably taken a bash at one time, because these things are on the road, and I think that might be what's wrong with it. So we're gonna have to open this one up and have a look to see what's inside it. Doesn't well, there's a few screws on the bottom. Can't see anything on the sides. There's like a little thing here. Maybe it's like you can get something in there, but it's metal, so I don't think so. I think it's probably held together with these screws underneath. So I'll get those unscrewed, and now let's see if we can get this thing apart. Yeah, I can't see anything else holding this together unless it's like got some hidden screws or something. So it comes undone. I mean, I look at a lot of things. It's kind of like a first. You think, well, can you fix like a vocal effects unit? Oh, I've never seen one. I've never tried. But at the end of the day, it's all electronics. Yeah, it's all electronics. So if you repair electronics, you should be able to tackle, or at least have a go at many things. I mean, I can get on badcaps.net. I frequent there quite a lot. I help people on there as well. You'll find me on there, and I ask people, there's an audio repair section which I don't go in very often, so I don't do a huge amount of audio repair, but yeah, there'll be people in there and they can give you some ideas. But I suspect in this case it doesn't really matter what it is. It's going to be a fact that like, this encoder thing here just isn't working yet. It's probably broken, either damaged itself, or maybe bad soldering. Okay, yeah, so it comes apart. At least I'm hoping that's the case. It comes apart. Yeah, there we go. So, well, that's interesting. Oh, I see. So this here fits onto that there. I was just thinking there's no connection between the top and bottom, but it's like whoever pins here, yeah, and it's obviously like that connects into this when it's together. Maybe that's the problem. And this little thing here, which is under here, so we have to get this apart. It's not something stupid here with it, like this wasn't connected to that, so effectively, no, these buttons were working, so I can assume that there is a connection. Okay. Seems obvious to do that. Maybe that as well. I'm guessing this kind of clips up. Usually these things kind of like flick upwards. Yeah. Let's get the camera in a little bit further. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, like usually these things either push outwards or they flick upwards. This one looks like it might push outwards. Does it flick upwards? Let me have a look. No, it doesn't come upwards. So this one's probably one that actually pushes outwards. Let me just get a focus. It's just drifted a little bit. Yeah, that's a bit that's a bit better. Okay. So this just lose my voice there. Okay, what comes out of there? Need a voice. Need a voice to do this. Go on. I'm always asking for comments in here, and nobody ever comments in the section below. But here's another one. When people are doing like educational videos, yeah, like repair this sort of stuff. Why do people make videos on YouTube and don't speak? I mean, like language is like, you know, we develop language for a reason, yeah, as a species. So why do people like just have music playing? And you know, I just don't get it. I don't get that at all. If you're doing an instructional video, you should be instructing, yeah, or just waffling like I do. but at least I think you should be making the effort to communicate in some way or other, yeah, not just playing, you know, music. The other ones I don't get is like they are talking, but they got music playing in the background, and just like I don't see the point. I just don't get it. I don't get why my camera keeps changing focus either. Yeah, okay, there you go. So all the screws are out and the camera's in focus. This thing just come off now. Maybe the knob is holding us on now. Feels like there's something in the middle of this that's holding it in place. See if we can. Yeah, it comes off and it comes apart. There we go. So let's see what we've got. What do we have? This is a rotary encoder, and it feels sloppy. This is just a like a bloody Durex condom bloody dead flesh pad thing, whatever that is. Yeah. So rotary encoders, like I'll tell you how it works. How does this thing actually work? Because you see these things, you know, all car radios and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, how does it work? Yeah. So rotary encoder. Well, it's quite a simple device actually. What you have inside it basically is the disc, yeah. And on the disc there are copper pads, yeah. The number of them will vary depending on the encoder, but I'll do 6, yeah. So you've got 6 copper pads like this, yeah. And then you've got 2 terminals, yeah. B and A, okay. And these copper pads are all connected to terminal C, which is common, yeah. Which is generally speaking the middle one. So we've got 3 terminals, yeah. So you'll have A, B, and C, but I would imagine probably C is the middle one, but we'll see. So that's what's inside it, yeah. So as you turn the knob, you turn this disc around, yeah. And obviously you can see that as the pads go past these contacts, you make contact with B and A, yeah. So if you count the pulses coming out, effectively, imagine if you put like 5 volts on C, yeah, sort of 5 volts on it. Every time the pad goes past A, it will connect to 5 volts, yeah? And when it's not touching the pad, it's 0 volts, okay? So what you're going to get out of it is a square wave, you know, like this. As you turn the knob, you get a square wave where it makes contact, it breaks contact, it makes contact, it breaks contact, yeah? And by counting those pulses, those square waves, you know how far it's been turned round, yeah? And for that matter, the frequency of the pulses is how fast you're spinning it, yeah? So either using A or B, either of them, you can tell if it's being turned by how much and how quickly it's being turned, yeah? But what happens if you want to know which direction it's moving in? Well, to do that, you have to use both these signals, A and B. And if you notice, they're in different places, yeah? So as you imagine, as you're turning this around clockwise, yeah, the pad touches A first, yeah, and then as it's moved further round, say to here, halfway round, yeah, it's still on A and it's now touching B, so it's now touching both of them, yeah. And if you keep going round, eventually it'll break away from A, it's just on B, and then it's back onto none of them again, yeah. So They make contact at different time because they're in a slightly different position, and they're actually, if you want to know the maths, they're 90 degrees out of phase. But we don't do maths on this channel, so we're not going to go into that. We're just going to see how it works, yeah. So have a look now at these square waves, yeah. So I'll have to draw. I could do with some graph paper really for this, but we can have a go. Let's draw some vertical lines, yeah. Couple more. So these are this is effectively as time divisions, yeah. And let's have a look what's happening if you're moving this disc here clockwise, yeah? Not cockwise. Cockwise. Clockwise, yeah? So it makes contact on A first. So what you'll see is this is contact A, yeah? And you'll see it go from 0 volts to 5 volts, yeah? Back to 0 volts. Back to 5 volts, it's now touching the next pad, yeah? Back to 0 volts. Back to 5 volts, it's next on the next pad, and so on, yeah? So that's what's happening. In the meantime, B is slightly after it, yeah? So B is making a contact here, breaking the contact there, yeah? So this is effectively 0 volts, 5 volts, yeah? If it had 5 volts coming in, it could be whatever voltage, yeah? So, if you look at this now, at this point here, where A goes back to 0 volts, we'll call this 0, yeah? And we'll call 5 volts 1. This is logic, yeah? So whatever voltage is 1 and no voltage is 0, yeah? So at this point here, that's 0 and B is 1, yeah? And then at the next point when it goes down, or it goes up rather, this is now 1, it's changed to 1, yeah? But that's now 0 because it's not connected, yeah? And then you can see again that the next time it comes down, this is 0 and that's now 1, yeah? And the next time this changes, this is now gone to 1 and that's now gone to 0. So you can see that every time A changes, B is the opposite, yeah? So when this goes to 0, when this is 0, that's 1. When this is 0, this is 1. Yeah? The opposite, yeah? The opposite. Now let's have a look what happens when you turn the control anti-clockwise, yeah? Anti, we won't put cock this time, clockwise, yeah? So when you go anti-clockwise, let's have a think of it now. So B actually touches first, yeah? So we're going to have put in B, and it goes, this is B now touching, yeah? Off, yeah? On, off, on, yeah? And A is behind it, so A is going like this, yeah? When we go in that direction. Look what happens now. A, B. When A goes from 1 to 0, B is also 0, yeah? And when A goes back to 1, B is also 1. And you can see yourself, when this goes back to 0, this is 0. When it goes back to 1, it's 1. So, they're now in phase, the same, yeah? 1 and 1, 0 and 0. So this is basically out of phase, as you would call it. And this is in phase, yeah? So, just with this simple device now, with this disc and these two terminals, you can see that by monitoring every time A changes, yeah? Looking to see what B is at, you'll know which direction it's going in. So, you can tell which way it's moving, yeah? By the phase of the 1s and 0s. You can tell how fast it's moving by the width of the pulses, yeah? And you can tell how many times it's been turned by how many pulses there are. So that's how a rotary encoder works, yeah? And that's a very simple device. So let's have a look at ours and see if we can figure out what's actually wrong with it. So there are 3 terminals on this, yeah? 3 terminals in there. If we get the multimeter, we can have a look now and see. Oops, sorry, just knocked the camera a little bit. There you go. Get the multimeter. We can actually have a look to see if our encoder is actually working. Yeah. So we'll just go to continuity mode. Yeah. And I'm suspecting the middle one is common. It might not be. So we put them on there. If I hold the meter on here, we should see as I turn this Oh, just contact. It's a bit awkward. Always sold a couple bits of wires. So nothing's happening there, yeah? Nothing's changing when I'm turning it, yeah? So I've gone the other two. Nothing's happening there either. Okay. Two end ones. Stop slipping in. So nothing seems to be happening here. It doesn't seem to be working. I suspect the contacts are not making contact, yeah? Because this wobbles around a bit. So we need to replace this. I have got some rotary encoders, but I'm not sure they're actually going to fit on this. But let's have a look and see if they are any good. Okay, so yeah, I do have some rotary encoders. I have a few in a bag here, but they seem to be different. So the layout of the pins is different by the looks of it. I'm not sure if this would actually fit in here, if it would actually work the same. It has two extra pins at this end for some reason. It might do, but I think what we'll do is we'll unsolder this one and see if we can actually fix this. Yeah, see what the problem is with this, because the shaft is kind of wobbling on this, and it makes me think there's something mechanically wrong with this. Okay, so let's get the soldering iron on and see if we can desolder this. I might need the vacuum desolderer as well, so we'll switch that on. Let's see how easy it is to get this thing off the board, eh? With my rubbishy flux, just doesn't dispense. No, it certainly does not dispense. Looking forward to the new stuff arriving. Okay, so we've got obviously two big pins here and three at the end there. We might end up having to use hot air to desolder this, but let's see what we can do with it. I'll just zoom the camera down as well, so you can see what's happening. So this is our bit of flux on here, where I've just put it on the pins. As usual, first thing, let's add some leaded solder to the job. First. Okay. These two big pins which actually hold the frame of it in place, basically. Get some on that as well. Let's see if we can do anything with solder braid on this. I'm not totally convinced we will, and the focus is just slightly out again on the camera. I don't know why that drifts out. It's a manual focus, so it shouldn't move, you know. Let's see if we can do anything here at all with this. So let's see if we're lucky. We're getting down into it. There's still some solder down in the hole, but we're getting to it. Let's try the other one. See if we can do any better with this one. See it melted. Yeah, some braid with the flux. So that one's come. That one's desoldered. That's handy. Might not be desoldered on this edge, but it's basically desoldered. Yeah, I can bend that one, so that's desoldered. So we can do the same with this one. That's warm. Maybe that's why people wear gloves on videos. The other day, saying, why do people wear gloves on YouTube videos doing this? Because we never did. Even when I was doing this professionally from the 1980s onwards, you know, nobody wore gloves. Nobody came to any particular injury. Okay. See if we get this on. I think it's going to take a little bit of flux on the actual braid, yeah. Let's go back in here with some leaded solder again. To help it. I'll add leaded solder back to all of them. I got a clean end of the braid, yeah. Let's try with the flux. If not, we'll have to use the vacuum tool. A little bit of hot air. Okay. Let's see if we can desolder this. It's coming. Okay, let's have a look, see what we got. These two large pins I can move, yeah, I can move that. See there, I can move that, yeah. And can I move this one? Yeah, I can move that one as well. So it looks like those, they're not desoldered, they're kind of like this one is. If you see, I think you can see it's broken the solder joints just there, yeah. That one's moving. This one isn't. I might be able to, yeah, see if this will help us. Very gently, just some heat in here and see. No, it doesn't want to come loose, does it? Okay. I think it's going to be hot air. I think it's going to be hot air to get this off here. It's mostly unsoldered, so let's get a bit of Kapton tape on all this lot here. Yeah, get some Kapton tape on here, and now let's see if we can just heat the whole thing and then just pull this out from the other side. My trick, yeah. That's another thing we learned in the 80s. And nobody told us not to. Nobody chastised us. Okay. See if this will do the job. So I'll go in hot air on 450 maximum. Let's see if I can actually pull this thing out before it gets too hot to hold. Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to straighten these pins that are in here, yeah, these things, just to help. Set those straightened. Okay. Those being bent isn't going to help. I might just actually get hold of the thing with the actual pliers. No, I'll try and hold it with my fingers. I can feel what it's doing then. If it's not too hot to do, yeah. It's moving. It's getting too hot. Okay. Get hold of it with some pliers, yeah. It's getting too hot to hold. Just turn it so I can get a good grip on it. There, yeah. Let's try again. Just put my thumb against the board just to hold it in place. Yeah, it's coming, it's out, yeah. There we go. There we go. Out it came quite nicely. So yeah, there was I was putting no pressure on that. That was just gentle. I'm sure you saw how I did it. Came out quite cleanly. Board's looking good. Obviously, you need to get the solder out of these holes. I might as well do this now while it's hot. Actually, while it's hot, let's see. We just desoldered. Get the solder out of these holes. Yeah. I'll just add a bit of leaded solder again and see if I can get with braid. If I can't with braid, it's solder needles or the vacuum tool. Yeah, this should be easier while the board's still hot. Okay, let's have a go. Middle one's done. That end one's done. Can't quite get that one. I'm sure I could do it with a needle. I'm going to use this. Oh, there you go. Such a useful tool, that thing. Such a useful tool. Put that on your shopping list, yeah. As soon as you've done some work, if you're on a budget, as soon as you've done some work to buy something, that's the one, yeah. Okay, so that's nice. Yeah, I think you can see quite clearly, as I mentioned, that the two tracks coming down here, this will be like your data, your A and B, and that will be the common, the middle one. So why does the encoder not work? I mean, it's such a simple device. I'll just explain to you how it actually works. Why does it not work? Just get a bit of the solder off it. Yeah, just clean that up a little bit. There you go. Well, it looks like we can get apart, yeah, so we can actually make a bit of space on my desk. Just give me 1 second, it's too messy. Okay, so this is the thing, yeah, so it's a simple device. I think you can probably see in here where the kind of like disc things are, like the pads, yeah. Seems to be quite a lot in this one, not just like 6 like I drew. Is this maybe just not, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything. Quite often these are like a click, 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 click as you go, yeah, and this feels like loose. And it kind of, there's a bit of play in that, yeah. Okay, let's see if we can open this up. I mean, we could go and try and find one of these, you know, and buy one. I mean, we can do cheap, you know. The ones I have obviously not the right type, but I'm sure I could find rotary encoders that you know, that look like this one. But let's see if we can repair this. Let's see if it's something we can actually just open it up and fix the problem, yeah, because it will save the guy waiting a few weeks while I get the parts here. I mean, he did say it wasn't urgent. He gave me a radio mic which just had a broken connector on the power supply. I fixed that this morning. That's the one he wanted back ASAP. This one I think has been broken for some time. Just come apart. Sorry, it was off the camera. So I've just prized back like the little metal things that are kind of holding it together, yeah. So let's have a look to see if it now just comes apart. Can we get inside this? I'd have thought we could, to be honest. I would have thought this would effectively just pull apart. It's moving a little bit. I think the shaft's moving with it, yeah. I'm holding this together now. It's like stuck at this end. Keep your fingers out of the way of this, yeah. I'll stab myself. Can't get down there. No, nothing. Seems to be stuck at that end. Can I get apart? Oh, yeah, I think I have. Yeah, I think I have there. I think I've got it. Just have to bend these a little bit slightly more out, I think. Just hold this in place. There we go. Right, so that's what we've got inside it. I think they're supposed to turn. See, there's this little bit in here. Yeah, that turns, and I can feel it clicking. When I turn the knob, it doesn't turn. So what's stopping that from turning? Something's physically broken here. Something's broken here. As I say, this end bit here, if I get my pliers on that, yeah, and I turn this, it's turning, and I can feel like the click, 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 which is what I normally expect to feel from a rotary encoder. Get this off here, we'll get it back together. Well, nothing to lose here, is there? Because it doesn't work, so there's absolutely nothing to lose now. We'll just see if we can actually open this up and see what maybe something's just come like effectively disconnected. Yeah, there it is. Got that end. Last one. Oh, I've got it. Okay. Yeah, this is broken. Take this off here. Yeah. So this should go into here, and I don't know if you can see down there, but the plastic looks broken. This is just sheared off here. Yeah. So that's the problem with it. That's sheared off there. In fact, it's this end of it. You can see it now. Can you see the broken plastic here? So that should turn that, and it doesn't. It's got broken. It's in position now. I wonder if a bit of super glue just in here, or spot of aldite, something like that. It's a bit greasy. If we can get this to stick on there, I might get it to work. Can you see in here, by the way, like those little copper pads we were talking about, yeah. And on here, like the little brushes. This is A and B, yeah. That touches that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try a little bit of aldite with this and see whether or not I can actually glue this to that. And then we'll come back once I've tried that. See you soon. I've just cleaned this with a bit of isopropyl alcohol because it's like greasy, yeah. And I didn't think that the adhesive would stick. So just showing you now that's the bottom part of it. I think you can see that the centre of it is just snapped off here, yeah. And this is the actual other part of it, and a bit of light down there. I think you can probably just see that it's, you know, that's what's broke. Yeah. So I can think this would probably either taken a good bash on the road basically and just damaged it. So I'm going to try a bit of this stuff. This is not Avaldite, that's a brand, but it's the same sort of thing. So you know what this stuff is. It's just like two types of glue that you effectively mix a bit of each together, yeah. And we only need a spot of it. Smells funny. It's just epoxy resin, yeah. Epoxy stuff. More epoxy stuff there. Okay, that should be enough for what we want. A little tool thing. I don't need to show you how to mix glue, do I really? I'm sure you know how to mix glue. And I'm going to try and put a spot of that down this hole effectively and stick this a little bit, and then leave it until tomorrow, and then hopefully I can put it all back together, and fingers crossed it might work, you know, it might actually work. And I'll just tell him not to throw the thing around in future. I mean, the alternative is to try and find a suitable encoder, which may or may not be difficult. Okay, so that's a little bit of epoxy resin in there, yeah. And we just need to yeah, I can see like it's broken like on a slant, so that goes in there like that. Okay, it's in place. It's together, yeah. It looks it's level, so I just need to prop that up somewhere now and just leave it, let it do its stuff overnight, yeah. I think I'll probably just get hold of it without dislodging it. No, I won't drop it in there. Oh, yeah, I can drop it in here, yeah, onto the paper. No, it's not going to hold it. I'll just find if I wait a little bit. This is like fairly fast setting this, so if I just hold on to it for a little while, and I can then effectively stick it somewhere, let it set overnight. Okay guys, I'll see you tomorrow probably, and we'll try and finish this one off. Okay, so I've glued this back together, and it seems fairly solid, yeah. So I'm going to put the encoder back together and see whether or not it will now actually work. So this bit goes in here, and then there was this little metal. Yeah, this thing goes in here, yeah. And then there was like a little metal thing which fitted on the top. And I'm not quite sure which way up it went. And maybe it matters. Should have made a note of that. I should have made a note which way round this thing went on here. It looks like this is sticking out. I think it probably goes the other way up, yeah. I think probably it goes on here the other way round. So I'm assuming that kind of like pushes down on something, like it's effectively like a little spring, yeah. This seems to have like little ridges in here, yeah, and I'm guessing that's what gives you the click, 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 click as you move it. So I'm pretty sure that's what this actually does. So let's put it with that little springy thing pointing downwards, and to see if we can push this back on. We may have to use a little bit of glue again on this. Yeah, that ends in. There's that little plastic locating things, yeah. See if we can get this end to go down. Can we get this to actually go into place? Not easily, that's for sure. We just want a little bit of persuasion. Yeah, click. It kind of clicked, and it clicked, yeah. Try the other side. Yeah. Okay, that seems to be on there. I can feel this clicking now as I turn it. Yeah. Like click, 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 click. That's a good sign. Then I'm guessing it's just a matter of putting this over here, and then bending the little tabs in that were kind of holding it together before. These little metal things, yeah. And we bend them inwards. So the middle ones, these actually solder to the board. Let's do opposite corners first, a bit like a cylinder head gasket, yeah, if you ever did anything with cars. And I'm not a mechanic, by the way. I'm hopeless. I don't like working on mechanical things like cars. It's dirty and oily and horrible. I just don't want to touch it, you know. It's a bit like, that's why I don't fix electrodomestic stuff, you know, washing machines and such like. It's not that I couldn't fix them. I'm sure I could fix them. You don't want to touch them. They're disgusting. Leave that to somebody else. Leave that sort of thing to somebody else who enjoys that, but not for me. I do get asked, you know, can I fix dishwashers and air conditioning. I've fixed one, but I'm no expert on that. Okay, that feels. You know, you won't. No, you won't hear it. I thought I'll hold it to the microphone. You might hear it. Okay. So we've soldered that back on there. Now let's put it back on the board and let's just see if it works. That's the that's the proof. Solder it back in. Does it work? Solder it iron on, ready to go. Okay. That's strange. It actually hits these capacitors. How can that? This will go one way round, it won't go the other way round. I'm sure that won't go the other way round. I would have done that. It's a little bit like narrower than it is wide, if you see what I mean. But I know how I've done that. Okay. Wake up, Richard, this morning. Wake up. Wake up, eh? That's how I've done that. Stay awake. Stay with the plot. Yeah. Stay with the plot. Okay. That goes in there. This is what happens, you know. You do stuff one day and you wouldn't think as like by the next day, because you've done a number of other things in between. You've forgotten something stupid like that, like which way does the thing go on. Usually with, taking photos you go along, if you think that's going to happen. Okay. I'll just put this together and try it as best I can, yeah? And then clean the flux off. Or maybe, let's clean it now, and if it works, yeah? And the job's done, yeah? I was thinking of just like pushing it back together, because there's quite a few connectors to connect on this. It's not easy to do that. I'll have to assemble it properly. So, in this instance, yeah, let's get it. It's just sticky on here with a bit of flux. That's all it is. Soon clean that off. Soon get this cleaned off. Okay. There we are. It's nicely cleaned. Bit of kitchen roll. The kitchen roll. Go on. Yep, got kitchen roll. Bit of that. Got to keep this stuff in your workshop, yeah. I get through a roll this every, I don't know, 6 weeks or something maybe. Every month to 6 weeks I've got through a whole roll of this. Right. That's good. Yep, feels nice. So let's try and reassemble this thing and see if it works. How did it come apart? Good question. Oh yeah, yeah. It came apart like this, didn't it? It came apart one way or the other. How did that come off there? This one went on here. Yeah, for sure that goes there. Oh, I think there's one bolts on here actually. Okay. Things through the hole, yeah. Just yeah, so that knob now is through the hole, yeah. So it's just a matter of plugging in. These 1, 2. I think we can kind of like just lash this together. We don't need to fully assemble it. Let's see if it actually works. Yeah, that's all those 4 wires attached. I'll probably put one screw in here just to kind of hold it together a little bit while I'm working on it. Try one of the screws. This one of them. It'll fit. Wrong screwdriver, but it fits. It's in. This thing, this ribbon here goes into here. That's the wrong screw, by the way. I remember now where I put the screws in the little plastic tub. So little ribbon thing in there. Push this back. That's that done. Here's the screws. I know I put them somewhere. Little hex screws. Yep, that goes there. This thing fits. The 2 circuits go together here. Little connector. Can you see that down there? There's like a little, little pin header here. Just pushes into that. Okay, so that's basically together now, yeah? Let's see if it actually... I haven't put the button things in yet, but I want to see if this works. Let's see if it will. Otherwise I'll put that little thing with the buttons in as well. Power. I'll probably have to put that in to turn it on, you know. I'll probably need to do it anyway. Let's let it up. Voice live play. Oh yeah, Luke. Yeah. Yeah. It's working. You see I'm selecting things. Okay guys, that's fixed. I just need to reassemble it. Put the little dead flesh keyboard thing back in and put all the screws in, but yeah, that's working. So that was a nice little repair. Didn't have to hunt around for the replacement parts or wait for them. I've already quoted the guy on this. He was quite happy, so I've made a decent profit from the repair. Yeah, in fact, I'll tell you, actually, I quoted him €40, which, considering that was an hour or two's work, I think that's fair. I mean, go find somebody else who will do it for cheaper, yeah? Go find somebody else who will do that for less than that, yeah? Okay, guys, nice one. See you soon on another video. Cheers now.